When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Black and I'm proud. When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim your Africanness. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you. When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim your Africanness. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you. When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim your Africanness. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you. Become a part of it. Embrace it. 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 When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim your Africanness. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you. When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim your Africanness. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you.
Peace, and power, family. Welcome back to DaBoXX Radio episode. Let me back up a little bit. Welcome to Doc in the Box on DaBoXX Radio. We have a very, very, very powerful conversation for you today. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. But Sister Queen, say something to the audience.
What's up, Black people? What's up, everyone out there? We're in the DaBoXX, that Digital Healing Hour. This is season 1, episode 5. Let's get ready to go down. A Black Women Aggressive, part 2.
Season 1, episode 5. I know you was, I think you were bringing a lot of energy on the first show. You're gonna have a handicap today. I'm dealing with a little allergies. I'm gonna have a handicap today, so I'm dealing with some allergies. So I'm expecting you to come hard.
Well, go home.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about today, Queen. How we gonna pick up?
Well, we're gonna pick right back up where we left off. Last 2 Wednesdays, other Wednesdays ago, it was hot when we was getting off, and we had a lot more to touch, and we kind of ended talking about per se how white women show up in this argument of Black women being aggressive, and also kind of talking about also the comparisons between Black men and Black women and white women. So we kind of talked about that a little, and it was getting a little hot, so we needed to keep going. We had to bring a part 2. So that's what we had. This is part 2. We're going to flesh out some things. We're going to add some stuff, and we're going to see how it goes down.
All right. What you got for me? What you got?
All right. Well, first I want to talk about what you said about white women. I think that's important to kind of in this argument, because in my experience in working corporately, my biggest issue has always been white women in the workplace. They've been very divisive towards me, and I don't know what it is. I've never had a real relationship with a white lady in the workplace, and that's the truth. And I think a lot of Black women go through that, and a lot of white women are in position of power. If the white male is in there, they set the white women there. And so I want to kind of go back to you saying they're passive aggressive and how they show up for us towards Black women and Black men too. That's the truth. I'm sure they've had some issues with them too.
So you saying, how do white women show up in the workplace?
When it comes to Black people, because you said that, they have, they mastered the past being passive aggressive and kind of smiling and patting you in the back, and slapping you in the back.
Well, and I think that is just a different form of aggression. To me, it's even more. I don't know. It's just something more that I can't even think of the word right now. Blame it on the allergies, but it's something I just don't like about it. It's very. It feels very abusive. It feels very like passive aggressiveness. If you know what that is like, it's almost like playing tricks on you. It's and the trick is like and to be honest, I think a lot of people do this, but specifically white women and white people, they
Mm-hmm.
tend to know how to come across with a smile, but at the same time telling you you're fired.
Yeah.
But the smile is like, I love you, I care for you, we're friends, but you got to go. And I think it's insidious. I think that um it's very, it's traumatic, because there's something about people who are passive aggressive that just burns you to your soul. It burns you to your core. And in the fact, I think that there's a lack of humanity many times um inside of them that creates these type of individuals. And of course, I'm not talking about everybody, but their dominant culture creates uh these type of things. But go ahead, like you about to say something.
Yeah. That's really poignant. That's my word. And so this indicative of like historical behaviors? Because the historical behaviors have been very aggressive, and now it's moved to a passive aggressive type of movement, but it's still very present. So do you think that's kind of indicative of that, when we see this, how they show up and then perform maybe behind closed doors or within their own silos?
Yeah, so when we talk about um white body trauma, or we talk about black body trauma a lot, but I think we have to talk about white body trauma. And I don't tend to like to have these conversations with white people explicitly about black people and our trauma, because to some degree they begin to believe that we are the only ones with trauma. So one of my goals is to let them know that the reason why you can inflict so much pain on other people is that you had your own trauma that you
Absolutely.
haven't dealt with.
Absolutely.
And not that I'm thinking it's going to change anything, but the reality is, I mean, maybe it can, maybe it'll win one soul. It may not change the conditions of everybody, but there's some people to wake up. But the reality is, it's so entrenched in us. You say historically, I'm going to say historically, socially, and
Mhm.
culturally, that many times they don't even realize how good they are at being, um, 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 let's say, in,
Disingenuous.
inhumane.
Ooh.
Yeah, inhumane.
Mm.
In fact, it's so wired, it's so inculcated inside of them that
Inco-
many times when they think they're doing good, even it's like your culture has told you not to feel and care for other people, and you don't even know it. You can't see other people. I can't see black people. I mean, it's a reality. In fact, I see black people as being something unique, or I see them as being exotic. I see them as being something that's just, white people are just people, and black people are caricatures. They're exotic. They have culture. They're ethnics.
Mm.
And we're just people. And the fact is that maybe many of them couldn't even consciously say that. But when you get down to the core, and when you're going through lots of these academic exercises, what happens is they begin to realize they don't even, although we hear the word white people typically don't even look at themselves as white. They don't know. They hear the word white, but everybody else has a race to them besides them. They're just people.
Ooh.
And so, to some degree, even if they mean well, in the words you were using last week, that's why microaggressions happen all the time.
Yeah.
Because microaggressions, and you had a great guest on last week, and she spoke to it and she broke it down really well. And she says that from her research and her understanding, is microaggressions for many times, and most times, she says, is that they're not even intended,
Hmm.
because they don't have to see you. They don't have, like, they're like, if I can use some very rough and direct words, is that they're just ignorant. They don't know no better. They like for real, like they are. So I went to a training one time, a really powerful training with the People's Institute of something. I can't recall, but they gave a real powerful training where part there was some white people who wanted to come in, white women in general typically are the ones who have the bleeding hearts and want to come help people, but don't realize they're hurting themselves, and hence because they haven't they're hurting themselves, they haven't healed their own traumas, and they end up hurting people that they're trying to help. So what they did with this group of people said, no, you go over. I understand you want to help us, but you need to go over there and help yourselves. And another grand scholar of ours, Dr. Joy DeGruy, has this image that she shows of how this has been, how this has come about. And she shows us these pictures of lynchings, which was after the abolishment of quote unquote slavery, where they have the children even looking at black men being hung and all these type of things, where it really numbs them, like really unconsciously and even consciously. Black people to them and other people ethics are really less than human, even though they may not even be able to admit that or articulate, or it might not even be to a conscious level. And many times I think when we tap in, I know you and I was talking about something yesterday, when you truly tap in, I'm talking about when you truly tap into the importance of life, you really begin to even look at mosquitoes different. Yes. You begin to look at, there's a struggle with cockroaches, but it's too many of them. So, but you begin to look at people and animals and all types of life forms differently.
Everything matters.
But the reality is, many times unconsciously, they don't see Black people as fully human if they know. And the most dangerous part of it is they believe they do. Whew. And when they say I'm not racist, they really mean it, because they don't know what racism is. They don't know how they're upholding racism. They don't know that the fact that they think that they are always the best one, the best fit, the one who always speaks their minds in groups where they're outnumbered, or they really have been created in a way that makes them very entitled, very self-centered, very blind to what the world really looks like. America in of itself, to me, is an experiment where it takes you from reality, where
it's fantasy.
Say it again.
It's fanatical. It's a fanatical experience.
But you really think it's so safe here.
Yes.
See, and that's what they really want. And that's what white people want. And this is what the white lady even said in this workshop. Like, white people trade their souls. This is what a white woman said who was in the People's Institute training, for safety. So it's not about culture to them. They don't really they don't really connect with anything cultural per se. That's why they relish in join in with everybody else's culture.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Not relish, actually take and repackage.
No, I don't even know if they can take it.
Every brand
they just go have fun with it on the weekend and go back home to their safety. They go and take trips and safaris and look at the people that's closer to the earth, and that's closer to animals, and unconsciously even they don't even realize that's how they look at people many times.
Wow. Well, we started with a bang. I wanted to hear that. And we're not dehumanizing white people. We're actually
attempting to humanize them.
That's it. That's the attempt to humanize. That's it.
Because even some of the greatest liberational thinkers and writers would say that in the act of dehumanizing others, you dehumanize yourself. And in that, I don't want to get in trouble with some of my brothers and sisters, but there's a book called Pedagogy of the Oppressed, where Freire speaks about this idea that because you dehumanize others, you dehumanize yourself. Hence, you don't even have it in you to humanize others. Only the oppressed can humanize themselves, and it is also the oppressor's duty to humanize others. Those white folks. Now, some of y'all saying, no, I ain't doing that. I ain't sign up for that. But the reality is, the only way that anybody's going to be humanized is those who are oppressed people rise up and take on the responsibilities themselves.
But you know what? You're right, because someone who's enacting dehumanization does not have the wherewithal to humanize that, because they're the ones who actually are performing the dehumanization. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because and even in the very um even some well-intentioned people will struggle unconsciously or with dissonance to really humanize you, because in return, humanizing you mean that they have to lose some comfort. They have to lose some comfort creatures. They have to lose this illusion and delusion of safety. We live in this country. That's why people are losing their minds, including us, because we see America is unpenetratable.
Huh.
We think that America is a place where disease can't come through, that bombs can't come through. We are all punch drunk with this fantasy that is called America. Whereas we are all in this society, some to some great degree complicit with this fantasy, while other people in the world who we look at less than are more in tune. And Black people in America, I would say, are more in tune because the thing about white people is this. I used to have an office down on Bel Air Road, and it was on the block. It was on the strip. It was in the trap house, whatever you want to call it. It was all that. It was all
It was
right
hot.
there. It was hot. The block was hot, right?
Yeah.
But when I looked across the street in an angled position, there was white people with golf carts and golf clubs and all these things, acting like all this stuff on the other side of the gate wasn't going on, and on the other side of the green grass wasn't going on. They act like it wasn't happening, and somehow that green grass and those golf carts and golf clubs provided them safety from the savages. And I'm not calling us savages, but what I am saying is this
That's
is the
their thought.
delusion that they live in unconsciously, if not consciously.
Oh, so that delusion, we are just as deluded being in this society, because we feel the same way. America's the best, can't be penetrated. This can't happen. This fantasy of safety that really is not true.
Yeah, this fantasy of safety that is not true, and that's why we struggle with life. We struggle with death. We don't the lack of culture, or the Eurocentric culture that we all adopt to, do not prepare us for life for real. It doesn't allow us to realize how we are also a part of nature. White people have taught us to believe that we are humans and everything else is nature, not that we are humans that are a part of nature.
That are a piece of nature. Absolutely.
Right. So
wow.
Even some of my colleagues came in and they wanted to sit down with me, some white colleagues of mine, and they do nature therapy, and they were talking to me about, because this is idea. And these are good white women. So nonetheless, one of them used to be my professor at Loyola. And one of the things she asked me is like, and her heart is really there. It's like, Dennis, how can we, they paid me for my time too. So nonetheless, how can we really tap into really having more Black people be more involved and more in tune and more connected with nature? Now, the illusion, the thing is, she heard from, I'm going to say, she said this story a few years ago, and I knew what was painting her picture, and she meant well. I mean, I'm being honest, she means well. But the thing is that she was coming from a place of ignorance. And the thing is, because in her mind now, Black people, because there was she was given a trip out to Western Maryland. And I don't care if you're from Baltimore or I don't care if you ever been to Western Maryland. But if you're from this region or any region, there's areas that you just don't feel comfortable going to as Black people. You don't even know why. You just know if there's too many trees and it's not enough Black people, you just don't want to go that way. I don't care wherever you are. There's just you have all types of Black body trauma going on, from historical trauma, generational trauma passed down. That ain't for me.
No, sir.
That just ain't for me. The mountains and the trees and
we don't care.
Bears and foxes and wolves and things. Especially if there's no Black people around. That ain't for me. So what happened was she was asking she was asking, in fact, we're gonna get to the a black woman aggressive, right? But she was asking the question. She asked her client if her husband was going to come to this nature retreat that they were having, and she kept asking her because, again, this lady is a genuine lady. I know her personally. I know she means well, but she kept asking like, come on, and then the lady had to disclose that her husband was uncomfortable with going out to Western Maryland because that is not a place of solace, or that's not a place where I feel like I'm a retreat.
That's right.
Yeah, it's just. Some of us are going out to that place. I forgot what it's called. All the way out there now, but that's on a resort.
It's still, we feel a little safety. Not in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, we just be like, hold up now. I just don't want to break down in between. I want to make it there. I want to make sure I got my best tires, my best gun. I got a bat with me, and all of that, right? So right. The engine is the oil is changed, all of that, right? So basically, she was so disheartened that she did not consider, she couldn't fathom the idea that this gentleman would struggle out there in that neck of the woods.
Because she was okay with it.
Yeah, because she doesn't understand, and that's not her experience, right? Yep. And she hasn't been educated to a degree, and maybe it might even happen with us, but we'll understand at some point. Like, well, you want to go out to Rock Creek or whatever they call it. Some people, but nonetheless, what I'm trying to say here is this: she, got once she was told that Black people don't feel comfortable in these spaces. I think now in her mind, the idea came that Black people are not connected with nature. So when I came to the office, I said there's nothing further from the truth. Black people are connected to nature, if not more connected to nature. And it doesn't involve that you have to hike up a mountain. Black people always go to the parks in Baltimore City. Every park in Baltimore City is highly populated by Black people. Black people come to my shop because they think of nature when they come in this office. They like nature tones, the herbs downstairs, the tea that they're drinking. You just drinking tea for Black people is like, oh man, a piece of nature. You understand? So just messing with herbs is a piece of nature. Just so there's going for walks, and so what I'm trying to so what she did not really understand is that nature is in everyday life of many Black people. And it doesn't have to look like a ski trip or a hike up a hill.
Got it. I think it's time for us to go back to a Black woman aggressive. But I did wanted us to kind of touch on the passive aggressiveness of white women in a space with Black people, especially Black women, because I think that is our biggest barrier in the workspace. In schools, because 80% of teachers are white women. So we see this on a nominal basis. And I think that's something that we had to talk about when it comes to aggressiveness and us being aggressive. So I think you kind of, you really blew that one out, Da.
Well, family, if that's the case, give us some likes. Share this video right now. Go ahead and share it right now. Give us some likes, get some friends some likes, go ahead. After this video is over, make sure you put a comment in the bottom. We really appreciate it. Just put a comment in the bottom. Subscribe to DaBoXX Radio. Subscribe to wherever you watch and subscribe. But make sure if you're on my station, if you're any page, like if you see this later, make sure you go back to DaBoXX Radio and subscribe and leave a comment.
Yep, I appreciate that for sure. Ja, we're gonna hit this first one. Let's roll into that one. Let's roll into this this first take. Let's do some real time stuff, Da.
So you go
every single man up that I've ever been with, baby.
All right.
When they leave me, they're in a much better position than when they got with me, and that's a fact.
The very last man you was with, how long was that relationship?
3.5 years.
When you met him, was he a millionaire?
No.
When you left him, was he a millionaire?
No.
You ain't made nobody nothing. A lot of these women talk about what they could do for a man and how good they are. Y'all ain't made nobody nothing. A lot of y'all have an overinflated ego. You're not bringing nothing to the table but problems, attitude, and taint, tarnished, and zesty coochie.
I don't know.
So check your attitude. No, check your attitude.
Build every single man up that.
That one hit me, because he said that all we brings is problems, attitude, and zesty coochie. Is that all black women do?
Absolutely not.
You had said absolutely. We have some problems. I was waiting for you. So I mean, and I don't understand why men or anyone is reducing women down to certain pieces of their attitude, or their personality and their body parts. That's all we're reduced to, and I think it's more than that. And we got to kind of open this up to real conversation of what people are bringing to relationships, especially black women, because we bring more than that. I'm clear of that. So what do you think about what he said?
I mean, I just think he's ignorant. Like, I mean, some of these people, I don't even think, I don't, I like when people say this. I just don't normally say these type of things. I think
her too.
I think
she was a little aggressive.
Well, well, I couldn't tell. Like, I didn't see the whole context. I could see why she would be aggressive, and in this case,
okay.
I'm not sure if that's her baseline, because some of us have a baseline of aggression that I really think we really need to deal with, right? Again, like I said last week, because I want to be clear that there's times that, I mean, maybe she didn't need to be aggressive. Well, what is she trying to defend? I don't know what the whole point was there, but I just
think saying that every man she's with, she leaves them right. She leaves them better than when she was there. That's why he asked her, was he a millionaire when she?
Well, I think his standard, his scale was just stupid. I mean, if I had to be honest, is he a millionaire? So if you're not a millionaire, so he didn't leave out better.
Always money.
But I think the other piece is, why is she saying this? Is this like does she deserve an award for this now?
Well, that's her badge. Is that when she come in the door, she smooth things out, she makes it better. So when you leave, you miss her, because she is that girl. That's what she's saying.
So the men who no longer with her miss her.
Of course, because when she comes in, everything gets smooths out. She leaves, she makes them better. So of course, when she exits to the right, it can't be the same, because she's that girl.
So she exits, or does he exit?
Well, I mean, I'm only going by what I saw. I'm just saying, she's saying that when she comes in the door, the man is better, and she makes the situation better.
I can't lie. I mean, I think I see that a lot. I mean, but at the same time, you made him better. But the reality is, did you become better in the process? And that's where I see a lot of women struggle. Where they do a lot for men. They help them get on their feet. They help them. They coddle them. They give them the love that their mother never gave them. They show them that they are worthy. They show them that they can do it, and all this type of thing. They might end up with maybe not $1 million. They might end up with a business or two. They might end up getting their high school diploma. They might end up with a college degree. They might end up with a lot of things. And if you're doing, but the question lies in, so how many men do you have to raise up to this high level to identify that there must be a problem with what you're doing on your end, while you keep raising these children? How the young ladies tell me, raising other people's sons, somebody's mother's child, and you are being left at the end. So you have to get somebody to help raise you up. In fact, you need to do more work on yourself. That's what I hear there.
Ooh. And we're leaving Facebook. So anyone who's on Facebook, please come to YouTube. We'll be on YouTube for another 30 minutes. So please come over to YouTube. That's where we will primarily be streaming into.
YouTube, DaBoXX Radio on YouTube. Yeah.
Yes, come to that. And so, yes, I totally agree with you. But I think he is a little ignorant, and everything starts with money. I think that's one of our problems. We're so capitalistic. Everything that relationship wise, when you come together with someone, is all how much money you have afterwards or how much you're spending. That's the standard. And I think the standard should not start with capital gains or any of that. It should start with higher. more than that.
You know what I wanted to say, Queen? And I don't typically say this. I didn't say it earlier, but I almost started saying it. Like in this case, I understand why some people say they're wasting my time. Like literally, what is he's saying nothing. And literally he's saying nothing. Like, and she's saying, I don't know what she's trying to again get a badge on. I don't know what she's saying. I have no idea why people are even watching them or listening to them or think that they have something relevant to give.
That's what's out here. I think a lot of times, podcasting is big right now. We're clear. We're podcasting. So it is something that a lot of people are doing. It doesn't mean they have great views. It doesn't mean that they have researched anything they're saying. They're talking about how they're feeling. And sometimes I think it's good for us to kind of, with your education and your research and your insight, to kind of pull these things back and look at them. Because these are Black people communicating. And the reason why Black women and Black men on one side of the island is because of all of these things that we hear. Money, coochie, foolishness, that has nothing to do with really building real relationship.
Yeah, I can't call him a man. I'm not sure if I can call her a woman. Again, I think they're a waste of time. I'm talking about even conversation, really, unless they got something that we're going to specifically talk about. Because they're not saying anything.
Got it.
They're really saying nothing. I'm not saying that, this is a bad clip. I think it's a good clip. I think it's a good clip just to show, for me to say that's a waste of time. So we can point that out. Like they, like her. I think I have some level.
Somebody would say she's being aggressive, or how she's coming. Like, men, when I'm there, men know I'm there. I'm that girl.
Well,
like she's being aggressive towards him.
I would imagine that there's probably some truth there, because if she feels that entitled, like her pum pum's the best, and because she can rear men up and raise them up from the dead and all that, and she's really finding some level of identity or status out of it, is indicative that she has some issues that she has not resolved.
Yes.
And I feel for her, and I feel for him, because if he can talk about women like that, I feel for him. I feel for her. I don't know what I would have to see the whole conversation to say why this is even a relevant conversation, not for us, but between them two. It doesn't, like, both of y'all wrong. That's it. That's all I can say. They both wrong.
They are both wrong. And I think she incited him by, saying, I'm that girl. When I'm there, everything is good. And then he came and knocked it down. All you bring is attitude problems and zesty coochie. That was his comeback.
Well, I think that's indicative that he's hurt.
Yeah.
I think that's indicative that he's hurt, and that he and now she's triggering some of that hurt that he has.
Yes.
And because that's all y'all bringing. He's hurt. He needs to heal.
And I love how you said that, because I love to hear a man that men hurt too. And that and then they have behaviors from that hurt. And a lot of times we think men are so strong they don't hurt, but they hurt also. And so I'm glad to hear you say that. Brother Josh said, what's zesty coochie? Tangy, smelly, both?
Give my man.
You answer that, dog. I'm gonna stay away from that.
What zesty? What did he say?
What's zesty coochie?
Oh,
tangy,
tangy,
smelly,
now I say a lot of direct and straight things. I don't even talk. I don't even talk like that. But the reality is, I think there's a certain level of aggression in the words we use.
Yeah.
I stay away
zesty
from
means something.
Zesty. Even honestly, even I'm going to use the word, but even saying coochie, like the word coochie is aggressive. Like it's nothing. There's nothing about using coochie that is wholesome.
Oh, Jesus. This is not the conversation we're going to have, but I don't think coochie is as bad as the P word.
Well, penis?
Pussy.
No,
not penis.
Vagina. That's why you always hear me say vagina. You understand?
We're going to stay out of this.
Both of them. No, coochie got a whole nother level of.
Oh, Lord. Put that up, Ja. An agreeably pungent taste. Definitions of zesty. Adjective. Having an agreeable pungent taste. Synonyms: piquant, savory, savory, spicy, tasty, pleasing to the sense of taste.
So,
Oh, this is too much.
so what's up? What's up, Kelly Productions? What's up with you, brother?
Okay. So, all right, y'all. Let's hit another one. We went somewhere. We don't went.
I mean, I think it's indicative of the cultural decline that we have in our community. That's what I would say to that.
Got it. All right, y'all. Let's hit us. Let's get another one in here before we move on. Listen to this, Doc.
Have to submit to each other for the relationship to work. I know this topic comes up a lot, and oftentimes it's, the woman got to submit to the man and things of that nature. Don't get me wrong, she has to. But I think also as a man, you have to submit to your woman in some instances as well. I think we put such a negative connotation on the word submission, when in reality, all it is delegate. Right? It's just like a CEO of the company. He doesn't make all the decisions. He has a board that helps him make the decisions. Right? So I may not know, let's say I'm the CEO of Apple. I may not know everything about marketing or whatever, but I'm going to hire somebody who's an expert in it. I may not know about, hardware, what type of plastic we should use, what type of glass we should use for the phone, but I'm going to hire a hardware expert to come in there and help me make these decisions, right? It's the same with your woman. Your woman is an expert. That's something, or she should be. If she isn't, then that's a bigger conversation, right? But she should be strong in something, and whatever she's strong in, then that's what you submit to her doing. If my woman is great at finances and I may not be the best at it, it's okay to let her take the lead in that regard. And that's not saying I just go into it blindly. I just accept the fact, hey, I don't know finances. I'm just let you control everything. No, you should still learn it. If that person is stronger in it, then you let them quarterback that. That doesn't take away from you as a leader. It doesn't take away from you as a man. In fact, it makes you smart. It makes you efficient. The fact is that men and women have to submit to each other.
All right. The reason I chose that one, Di, is because he's kind of explaining each role, and I think that submission is a bi-directional movement in a relationship. So, what do you think about what he said?
The way I'm going to respond has nothing to do with what he said, right? Initially, I'm almost tired of hearing this whole idea of submitting back and forth or submitting one way or the other. But I understand why we use the language. But I think that we use the word submit due to our religious frameworks and things of that nature, and how it's been used and so on and so forth. But just for the sake of the conversation, I think that why can't we just compliment one another? Why do we have to submit to one another? Like why can't we compliment one? Like just compliment one another, And why? I don't have to use the word submit. I don't have to submit to nobody. I can compliment you. We can agree to agree. We can agree to disagree. We can agree to live together. What I'm saying is, I don't know why today the word submit is bothering me, but the reality is, I just feel like the conversation is so surface and so weak. And so what I mean by this is I hear people often speak about it, right? And what is this?
I cook. Yeah, that one was something. Put that up, Chuck. I cook, I clean, I submit, I shut up. Wifey. This is what a woman is wearing. I cook, I clean, I submit, I shut up. Wifey.
I think they'd be looking at, honestly, I think the pants for men should they be looking at the pants before they even look at the shirt.
It's the shirt and the shoes. You are funny. The pants. The hot pants.
I mean, the thighs. But I mean, what was I saying? So I think this whole idea of, trying to reframe the word, I mean, I get it. I mean, and I understand it, and I agree with him to a great degree, but I am tired of that conversation too. Like, who submits to who, how you do this. Yes, I'm a leader. Like, even in the conversation itself, it like when I hear people say, well, I let her lead, like, I mean, what? Like, how do you let somebody, like, you let her lead? Like,
because in men's mindset, they are the leader of the house. They're the leader of the family. They're the leader of the pack. Let's be clear. That is, And I want to say something, and maybe, this is what I want to say. Let me say it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we live in a very paternal, patriarchal society,
Mm-hmm.
and this society has diluted men too. Not to say that men should not lead. I'm not saying that, because now we can say I'm aggressive, because I love men and I think men should have a very powerful role in the family.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that's important, especially Black men. But I think this society that we are existing in is so patriarchal and not real and fanatical that men continue to find spaces and roles for themselves that sometimes they can't even deliver. And I said it. Done with that.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You didn't say nothing aggressive, but
Okay. Because people say that's aggressive, but we do live in a patriarchal society.
I mean, we live in a patriarchal society, but I think part of the problem is even the opposite. When I see sisters talk about matriarchy, I don't agree. I don't agree with either one. They'd be like, "Well, Africa was a matriarchal society. You know, it was really more like a matrilineal society in some of the cultures on the continent, and patrilineal on some parts of the continent. But patrilineal and matrilineal is very different than matriarchal and patriarchal." Which means
nobody knows what that means. You always come with these words. Now,
so archy is like to rule over, right? So right. Like so now women matriarch to rule over, right? The men patriarch, men to rule over, right? Exactly. So the thing is, I'm not really into that mindset. I don't think it works for us. And I and even in my vocabulary, like I hear the brothers saying stuff, but I let my woman lead. Like you would never hear me say nothing like that. Like I don't let my wife do nothing. Like what? Like we agree on some things. Like I think sometimes we get caught up in these nuclear relationships where all are failing us too, where we think that. We like I let her. What about the community? What about the community lets us? Like, or we're part of a greater community. Like the problem is like, oh, I let, like just the fact that you say I let, like if let his woman tell him I let him. What? Yeah. Like I let. Like you don't let nothing. Like if you really talking that talk, it is bi-directional and all this type of thing. What is this let stuff? Like
that's what we add in our relationships. This let word is a big thing with women and men. I'm not saying this is both. Men are saying what they let their women do, and women are saying what they let their man do. Yeah. Kelly said, I believe it's the ego. It could be control. Some need to be feel validated and more.
Right. So again, even in your conversation, you're really discounting it. So, I mean, he sound good. I know the women like him. I know the brother say he capping. I know all of that. And maybe he is capping. I don't know the brother. But
he says men and women should submit.
I know, but then he let somebody. That's like a Freudian slip, But what I'm saying, like,
but what about her? She said, put her up, John. She said she
that's his woman?
No, I was just saying, no, that's not his woman.
Let me see her. Let me see what she said.
Don't look at the thighs, y'all. Stay up, stay on the hoodie, Brother Kelly. Stay on the hoodie.
Wifey.
So it says wifey. I cook, clean, I submit, and what's the one? And I shut up. This is what a woman's wearing.
I don't even believe it. I don't believe it.
Wifey.
I don't believe it. I don't believe a woman who does those things will even have to put that on their shirt.
Ooh,
I don't believe like that's aggressive. Like to me, that's a form of aggression right there. Like I shut up. Like I shut up. I submit. Girl, I cook. I clean. I submit. I shut up.
Yeah, that don't make sense.
I don't believe it. I'm just telling you. I've heard too many stories.
A woman that's doing that is not putting that on no hoodie. Trust me, she's not.
No, she's out there. You know what I mean? Maybe she is one. Maybe just maybe she's she's an advocate. Maybe she's an advocate, and now she's maybe becoming a billboard for women. I don't know. Maybe she could be a outlier, not necessarily. Maybe she could be all of that, and maybe she's
like the thighs. You like the body and the white boots. Now she's an outlier. What?
I said that men would be looking at her thighs before they look at her shirt. You understand? So I mean, what is she advertising for, a man, or she already has a man? I think I can't.
No, I think she's advertising that this is the type of wife she'll be. I'm a wifey because I will cook, clean, shut up, and submit.
You know what's I just have to be honest with just previous and past experience. Women who talk like that are none of that.
Ooh.
They do some of it, but they still have very form like yeah, I don't buy it completely. Like, I mean, I could be wrong about her,
but under that hoodie was a blonde wig.
I mean, blonde wigs are aggressive?
No, I mean they're not real. It's not.
She going cheat too, laughing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that hoodie is convincing me. I'm sorry, and to me, I'm not gonna lie. There's a form of aggression with the hoodie. I mean, like it seems subtle, but like it's telling women, it's even aggressive, like to other women. Like it's like I shut up.
I'm pissed off. Like why you buy that? What you buy that for? For
like,
who?
Like that's passive aggressive.
Ooh.
Like I'm not saying nothing. Why you mad at me? I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm saying I don't feel like I don't buy it.
You don't buy it. Okay. Okay.
And him and going back to him, just to cap it off with him, I definitely don't buy him because he's talking, and even his language tells you that although he wants to believe, maybe he wants to believe, at least let her believe that, even if he believes that what he believes, underneath all of that, there's still a level of entitlement. There's still a level of patriarchy that needs to be resolved.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm perfect and nobody else is perfect. We all in this world. But I'm just saying it's very indicative in the word and how he put his words together.
I agree with that. I think that patriarchy is a cancer in this society, and it puts us in thought processes and what we think relationships or what we should be in this society, and it's not real. It is absolutely not real. It comes from a very oppressive mindset, in my view. All right, that was what's up. I like. I don't want that hoodie.
You hear
all right,
Kelly,
John, last joint.
You see what Kelly got there? You want
what Kelly said? The other part is, what does she want from him in order to be so-called submissive? Oh, you know what she want, Kelly? She want that bag. She want that blonde wig. She want them nails done. You know what they want.
And that's and then there's a lot of aggression in that. I'm going to tell you. I mean, I'm just going. I want to be making no judgment.
What you say is a lot of aggressiveness.
It's probably a lot of aggressiveness behind it. And if I do all of these things, I'm telling you, I've seen it. If I do all of these things, a level of entitlement comes, which becomes a level of aggression. Oh, I cook, I clean, I do all these things, and
complaining.
Yes, all of that.
Ooh.
Like so now I get to make decisions. Where are you at? You know, you supposed to be home. You do this. I mean, so there's a lot of, you know, I just feel aggression for all of that. I mean, honestly, even the way that I'm sorry, y'all, don't beat me up. The way she presents, just
yes.
If she
white boots,
thick
thighs,
and it's
throw
not,
up there, Ja.
And I could be wrong. I mean, not necessarily her thighs, but her eyebrows. I'm messing with you. No, it's her edges. I'm messing with y'all.
Yeah, her edges. Pardon me.
What they said, the East Baltimore edges. The East Baltimore edges. That's what they said.
That was crazy. But yeah, you're right. If you put that on a hoodie, you're already aggressive. That's number one. And number two is you're going to expect something.
Now, sisters, don't get mad at me. She could be perfectly fine. I'm just saying from my experience that
I agree.
A lot of times I haven't seen it work. I hear sisters tell me, I let my man lead. Again, I let my man lead. I let my man lead. Yeah, all right, yeah.
Kelly said the instructions is on the back. He said maybe the instructions is on the back of the shirt. I love it. The disclaimer, Kelly. That disclaimer. All right, John. Hit us with this last joint.
Strong, you do not think of coming to the aid of it. So when we are looked at and walk around as strong, what we're putting out is, I do not need assistance. I don't need your help. So anytime a man says, oh, I love it, you're so strong, I said, no, I'm not strong. I'm resilient. I'm not independent. I'm interdependent. Because nobody ever comes to the aid of the strong person. So when I'm around men, my wrists are broke.
I wish that all women would take a note from her book. Listen.
Please do not address me as a strong, independent Black woman. It's not a compliment. I never hear a man that is raising children alone say, I'm mom and dad. He never becomes overly feminine because he's raising children. But we as women become overly masculine because we are raising children, because I'm mom and dad and I got to do all these things, right? And now I put extra stuff on me. And then I say, ain't nobody helping me. Well, nobody told you to do that. There is help available, all because I was trying to overcompensate for what daddy wasn't doing. I didn't have to be mom and dad, because when you think of something strong, you do not think of coming to the aid of it. So when we are looked at and walk around as strong, what we're putting out is, I do not need assistance. I don't need your help. So anytime a man says, oh, I love it, you're so strong. I said, no, I'm not strong. I'm resilient. I'm not independent. I'm interdependent, because nobody ever comes to the aid of the strong person. So when I'm around men, my wrists are broke.
Okay, Miss Broke. What do you think, Dad? I don't even want to say. I want to hear what you have to say on that one.
I want to hear what you got to say.
You're supposed to go first, but I will. I think that in my world, I think I'm a strong woman, but I also do not think that I don't need help, and I also don't think that I don't need assistance. I think that being a woman, a Black woman, you have to have some type of resilience and strength, especially how we show up in the world and how the world shows up to us. So a Black woman is not strong, is going at some point is going to get eaten alive. I just really believe that. From my experience, I can't say all Black women, but I know we all are walking this heartbeat path. And then I haven't raised any children per se, but I really do not think that because Black women are raising children sometimes by themselves, they're a man and a woman, but I think they have to have some level of toughness, because you're raising children who are going to be attacked, who are going to be oppressed. Why do you want a marshmallow raising that type of child? That child needs structure. It needs to learn some separate tools at home. And when I say separate tools, it's the tools of oppression. It's the tools of how to get through a society that we live in. And if a woman is in that household alone and she's not giving it to her boy and giving it to her girls, they're going to have some problems. And so that's how I feel about what she said.
Giving what?
Huh?
If they're not giving it to her,
I'm saying if she's not giving them some level of tools for their toolbox, how to navigate this world, and giving and being a strong movement around the how hard it is, first of all, to be a woman raising children by herself, and also having to deal with all of the nuances of being that mother. You have to have a level of strength for that. And I think that should be celebrated. It's happened so much in our society, and it's not just our fault. We live in an oppressive society that goes after Black men, that displaces the family. And absolutely, Black men should celebrate Black women standing in and raising these damn children. And they're not perfect. I'm not saying they're perfect. Please don't think I'm saying Black women are perfect, but at least they stayed. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I think the research also shows that Black men are more engaged in their children's lives
than ever.
More than any other
man. Yes.
So I think I just want to put that on the table.
That's true.
I also think the delusion is that there's a way that a man is and a way that a woman is that's not socially constructed. So I kind of struggle with the idea that women are acting, and then I also struggle with the word strong. Like, so I need that quantified or qualified or both, right? Because now, what is like? Some people use the word strong for a Black woman as one who kind of goes through and endures a lot. Now, I think that's different than one who's really overly compensating for the lack of a man being there.
True.
So I think they can cross over sometimes, what have you, but typically they're used differently. So I do see a lot of women try to overcompensate for what they believe a man is. Due to this society's ideas that we've bought into. Then also I see even men. I have seen men who overcompensate. I mean, not necessarily specifically just to be a father. But I mean, men are taught to be like, for example, the way that we talk about men are supposed to be providers, and they're supposed to be protectors and providers, and they're not supposed to be emotionally connected with their children, and so on and so forth. And that is seen as a feminine attribute, which I think is all bananas. And I think this is more of the same. So I think that we all possess all of these traits. I think that I think that obviously there's some chemicals and hormones in our bodies that make up certain things like testosterone and estrogen and so on and so forth. Thank you, because my mind is a little fried from these allergies.
That's fine.
But
got you, bro. I got you.
Yeah. So thank you. My biologist over here. So yeah. So I think the idea that things are just that simple is problematic in and of itself. I think that people who are under stress will operate in a assertive and an aggressive and a strong, what we call strong manner to accomplish things, no matter what your sex or your gender is. I think that men also need to not subscribe to this idea that men are just this one way, and women need to not subscribe to this idea that women are just this one way.
Ooh, that right there is it. It's like the roles that we've set up are not true. They're nuanced because families present so many different things. And so you're saying we both have the traits inside of us. Let them be expressed and leave people the hell alone.
Right. And when I think about places like on the continent of just many continents, but in Africa, in certain areas where men and women, from our U.S. standards, both would seem a lot more feminine than both men and women here.
Absolutely.
Like, so the men there who are men could be looked at as very feminine to our standards, and the women there are a lot of them are very feminine. Some, and then there's certain regions of Africa where they're a lot more aggressive, the men and the women.
Hunters, and the men don't. Yeah, so a lot
and I'm saying like certain regions, like Nigerian women are kind of aggressive. I mean, the men are very aggressive. So I mean, I'm not trying to
call out that. Don't call
out my wife's from Jamaica. Let me use them then.
Yeah, let's stay in Jamaica. Don't call out none of the continental Africans.
Well, I mean, they my peoples too. I'm just saying to our standards that, or you can call them assertive, right? So what I'm just trying to say is people really show up depending on what the need is. Now, there is what I'm concerned about, a level of overcompensation that really becomes problematic, and not just problematic, but really abusive. And I do see women do that with their children because they mean the best, but what they now thinking that the father isn't there, so now they have to do all this overcompensation, and they become overly aggressive. And I mean, I agree with that part to a degree. But I also seen women when the man ain't there and there's a lot of women around where all the women are very feminine, and they all kind of come together to support their children.
And that happens too. But I do want to say too, is a lot of times when a woman is in a household alone raising children, she's in an oppressed neighborhood. She doesn't have the same resources. So the neighborhood is tough. Because she has a lack of income, she has more children, and there's a lot going on outside. She got to be tough in her household to keep her children together. It's a lot of different, I think, nuances of the issues that brings context to behavior, and we just want to put people in boxes, and we just let people be.
What is it? 1 in 4 women in the Black community has something been molested or messed with. Now, why wouldn't you think they will be aggressive when it comes to men? Why would
you better say it. Say that again. Say it again. One in what?
I think it's like 1 in 4. There might be old statistics. It might be even more. So 1 in 4 women. That means that been
touched by men.
It has, in some kind of way. So why wouldn't they be responding in these defensive and protective ways? And what we call in masculine is very defensive. And I don't even think that is healthy for men even. So I'm saying that you see men with similar personality traits, but the reality is to be that all the time for anybody is unhealthy.
I agree. That was it. That was a culmination of the whole joint right there, is that we all have different roles that we can express, being men and women, and stop boxing people into certain roles and then making it something of gender, because it's not true. Right?
I think you got it. So close us out, Queen family. Like, share, subscribe, share. To subscribe to Black Box Radio. Send your friends over. Share the link on your Facebook page. Hit a do all those type of things. Show Sister Queen and Black Box Radio some love. Show us some love.
Absolutely. Yeah, guys. He said it. Like, share, subscribe. This has been a very zesty conversation tonight. This topic is zesty. Are Black women aggressive? And I just want to say something is that people say, well, why are Black people talking about Black women, or why are we talking about Black people? But understand that we need to have this communication amongst us, because other people are having about us. And we need to set the record straight. We need to actually be honest about behaviors that have been expressed in our community, because when we communicate it out, we actually confront it and we go forward. Listen, like, share, subscribe. We appreciate everybody tonight. We are up out of here. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks, second and fourth Wednesdays. Peace, everyone. We box up and out. Deuces.
Peace.
When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Black and I'm proud. When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim your Africanness. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you. When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim your Africanness. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you. When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim your Africanness. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you. Become a part of it. Embrace it. 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 When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim your Africanness. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you. When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim your Africanness. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you.